channel. I talk about everything that matters to you, and in today's video, we're going to talk about why millennials can't afford to buy a house. If you're new to the channel, go ahead and subscribe, and please, if you can, subscribe to my Patreon as well. Helps my channel grow and allows me to keep pumping out content for you guys. So let's get into it.
You need a real estate agent in Orlando. Freddie, great to see you again. What does this mean for someone who earns kind of a median income in the United States, maybe in their mid-20s, early 30s?
You hit the nail on the head. This is the problem that we are facing as millennials and Gen Z. The median household income sits around $81,000, but yet the average house is $400,000 in this country. With the 8% interest rates, you need to earn about $120,000 a year to have a shot at qualifying for this loan. But for
Wow, guys, $120,000 you would need to be able to buy a house in today's market. That's just craziness right here, guys. Absurd. Because a lot of people aren't making $120,000. Companies aren't even paying $120,000 right now. I mean, unless you're like in tech or something like that, I mean, most people aren't even making $80,000 a year because companies aren't paying enough. And even if they were paying that, inflation's gone up so much in the last 4 years, guys, 5 years, that 80,000 is I mean, people are barely getting by right now, guys. People are barely getting by. You think people with that, honestly, you're better off, because let's just assume you make $120,000 a year, right? Let's assume that. Now you've got to actually put money down to buy that house, so in the form of a down payment, and cover closing costs. So not only do you have to make $120,000 a year to qualify for the loan, then you also have to provide the down payment as well. That's what they don't talk about in these videos, guys. It's kind of insane, to be honest with you. I mean, so on a $400,000 house, let's say you go FHA, you're probably going to have to, put 3.5% down. So that's at least, what, like 15 grand down? 15 to 20 grand down? It's crazy.
millennial or a Gen Z, they're not going to come up with $80,000 to $100,000 for a down payment. We're lucky to get $20,000, $30,000, $40,000, but again, you still need that 120 income to back it up. So I think we're going to have to figure out for millennials and Gen Z and future generations how to redefine the American dream or how to solve this massive issue, because it's bleeding into every other part of our lives. If you're forced to rent and spend 40% of your money, how are you paying off your student loan debt? How are you investing in a retirement fund? How are you saving for a down payment if 40% goes to housing?
Because people aren't saving. In prior videos, if you want to check those out, guys, like 70% of Americans don't even have $400 in their bank account. $400 just to cover an emergency. And the average emergency is actually more like $1,700. So people aren't getting by. Honestly, they're not getting by. People are struggling really bad right now. Let's pan over to this other TikTok video I have. If you can't read it, it says having to make the choice between traveling the world or saving to buy a house, and the hardest decision ever. I mean, honestly, for most people, it's cheaper to travel. I mean, think about it. If you've got 10, 20, 30 G's laying around, like buying a house, you're gonna empty all that out just to buy the house, and then what? Then you gotta cover maintenance on the house, and you gotta cover furniture on the house. It's cheaper to just go ahead and just honestly let it rock and roll and just travel. That's why a lot of millennials are doing it. They're not buying houses anymore, guys. Millennials aren't buying houses. People are they're putting their money like in self-development and just traveling. I've noticed that a lot. It's a trend that's I think continuing. It's going to continue to happen, guys. Honestly, I know. Let me know what you guys think at home. And look, right here, I have a chart pulled up for you guys. So in this chart, dude, home values in the U.S. over the past 20 years. You see that, guys, in 2003, guys, home values were around 140,000. They peaked in 2006 at 180, kind of went back down a little bit in 2012. And then since 2012, guys, home values have been through the roof. Look at that, guys. Home values have shot all the way up. In 2023, your average home value is $340,000. It's more now, guys. I think the average home value now is like nationwide is like 400 grand. It's crazy. People just aren't even they're not even hanging on, guys, and let alone having the money to buy these houses. It's insane. These banks are making so much money. Let's go over to YouTube now. Got Michael Bordenero here, and let's watch his video.
So here's the thing. Middle income is not what it used to be. Just to be able to afford today's median price home, your household needs to bring in about 115, 120K a year just to qualify.
And that's what the other person was saying on TikTok. You have to have around 100 to 120,000 to be able to buy a house. It's crazy.
Assuming your credit's good and you have enough money for the down payment. So middle income is not what it used to be, because the median income in this country is still $75,000 a year, but you need to make 120 just to be able to buy a house. So here's the thing.
And people aren't getting it done. People aren't making 120,000. People, I mean, I think I saw the average household income with two incomes, I think it was like $71,000 or $72,000 a year, guys. So people with combined incomes aren't even bringing in 120,000 gross. So you got to figure, like, people just aren't going to be able to buy a house in the future. That's what's going to happen. So let's go over to this other YouTube video I have pulled up here for you guys.
So I'd like to apply for a mortgage to buy a house. Yep, but it looks like you don't have a good credit score. Okay, but like I've never been late on rent. I have years of good rental history. That's actually extremely different for some reason. So I'd like to apply for a mortgage to...
Yeah, so if you rent your entire life and then you finally have like the money saved up to buy the house, and now they're saying that your credit score is not good enough, but you've been renting it for your entire life and made all your rent payments on time, but you somehow can't qualify for a home loan. Which it's always interesting, because I've heard before too that, like, when you go to buy a house, they'll actually ask you, are you paying rent currently? And they'll actually count that against you in your DTI, knowing that, like, you're going to move out of that place that you're renting into the home you're buying, but they still count it against you. It's weird. It's wacky, to be honest with you. But yeah, guys. So I have an article pulled up for you guys right now. And we'll close on this. And this is actually what I wanted to talk to you guys about today. So this is from CNBC.com. And it's young people aren't buying homes because they'd rather travel the world. This is an old article from 2017, but I saw it. I was like, ooh, this kind of like is still relevant today. So, and it pretty much says, I'll read it for you guys. Millennials aren't buying homes at the same rate as previous generations. The homeownership rate for those under 35 has steadily declined since 2000s. That's because homes have went from like $140,000 in the early 2000s to now the average home is now over $340,000. I think it's actually over or about to be over 400 or over 400,000 right now in 2024. But that's why people aren't buying anymore, guys. The one reason for the shift, young people today have different priorities. According to a recent survey in Realty Mogul, 47% of young people between ages 18 and 34 would rather spend their money on traveling than buying a house, compared to only 26% of those ages 45 and older who said the same. Wow. So this holds true to an opinion millennial consumer have expressed for years. Experiences matter more than things. Yes. Your quality of life matters more than the things you own, because the things you own can only bring you so much value, right? So it kind of makes sense. And in the article, guys, it goes on to pretty much say, like, look, in 2014, an Eventbrite poll found that 78% millennials would have choose to spend money on a desirable event over a desirable purchase. And 55% said that they are spending more on experiences than they ever have, according to a CNBC report. Millennials aren't spending our money on cars, TVs, and watches. Taylor Smith, CEO, co-founder of Blueboard, tells CNBC, we're renting scooters and touring Vietnam, rocking out at music festivals, or hiking Machu Picchu. Yeah, because people don't want to like be bogged down. People don't want to be bogged down, guys. That's the thing, right? Yeah, so let me know what you guys think in the comments below. That's all I have for you today. So pretty much, it stands true. I mean, young people aren't buying homes because they'd rather travel the world. And that's true. What do you think? Would you rather travel the world or buy a house? Let me know in the comments below. And subscribe if you haven't already. And subscribe to my Patreon, guys. It supports the channel, helps me grow, and allows me to create more content for you guys. So I will talk to you all later, right? Peace out.